If you're my wife, my help me, you're on my team, helping me accomplish my goals, helping me get us to heaven, then you can't be telling me about what no other man says. Who you with, me or him? Who's your head? Who's your authority? Who are you under?
I have to learn. You have to teach me, or I have to learn.
Yeah.
Your set of beliefs, your way of doing things, your viewpoint of the world. This is the system I'm operating in our marriage, versus the way the pastor runs his ship. Like you and your husband's team, so you have to be indoctrinated into the belief system
Well, as an adult,
of your husband. I do think we should also teach them to be tolerant of others who do not hold the same beliefs.
Can you tolerate my offense to that word black? Like, I don't like being called black. It's stupid. I'm not black. Like, my hair is black.
Okay, well, I hope the rest of our people jump on this bandwagon and we can come up with something else.
Whether they do or they don't. They do or they don't. I'm not black. I'm brown.
Well, I don't think that we should raise our children to live in a box and only operate within a certain box, because that's not the real world.
You know, you don't want your children playing my children because we believe in the Bible and y'all don't. Then that's fine. That's your pride. That's your prerogative, yo.
It's beneficial for them to be exposed to people who are not like them.
Yes, they need to be exposed to certain things. Question is when.
It's good to expose them to a certain extent when they're younger, when we have more insight and influence on them, because they may not respond how we think they're going to respond. So we should indoctrinate our children. We should teach them to accept and believe what we hold to be true. However, I do think we should also teach them to be tolerant of others who do not hold the same beliefs. And
define what you mean by tolerance of
like,
others. Like, because I think I know what you mean.
But coexist, I will say.
Is that tolerance though?
Well,
like, because you saying, like, when you say tolerance of others who don't believe, like, we live in a country where majority of people don't believe what we believe, right? So our children are not, I don't know, beating up people or fighting people or harming people or.
But they're young. Like, they're not even.
So when you say teach a child tolerance, I think you got to kind of be more specific. What do you mean? Or unpack what that means, because I'm not sure if I understand what you mean.
To be able to function with the other. I just say the other people who are, not of the same belief.
I mean, I think that's just common courtesy and respect. Like, respect you respect the person. Like, people have certain, inalienable rights and certain, I don't know, levels of respect that should be given to every person, regardless of, even murderers and killers still need to be treated like a person. They need to cut off from society, but what do you...
I'm not saying that. Okay, so, and I think for me, it's more of an issue because we homeschool.
Yeah.
Because when a child is in school, you're by default around
different
people who are not like you. People who not the same ethnic background, people who are not the same religious background, people not the same socioeconomic class. But when you're homeschooling, I think it's easy for your children to mostly be around or only be around people who have the same belief, people of the same ethnicity, people of the same socioeconomic class. And I felt like that was my children's experience. That was mostly
Yeah.
their
So
circle,
you
their
feel like our
experience.
children are not tolerant of other children, or what?
Um, I mean they're young, but I felt like if we were to continue that dynamic, at some point it would make it difficult for them to interact outside of that circle, because they never experienced that.
But I think we're conflating the issue. What does it have to do with tolerance? Like I hear what you're
So maybe
saying.
maybe tolerance is the wrong
Yeah,
word.
that's why I'm trying to
So
understand.
maybe
Like,
I should coexist or
yeah, 'cause you say tolerance. Like I'm like, okay, like I can tolerate somebody getting on my nerves. It's a lot of things you can tolerate, but there's some things you're gonna draw the line. Some things I'm not gonna tolerate.
yeah.
You know. So
Like
when
for
you, yeah,
example, there was a family out here, uh, Christian family like us, black family, and
what family?
okay, but Bible believing family.
Yeah, I thought you said black family.
Okay, melanated.
Thank you, 'cause I ain't black. I don't,
Okay,
you know what
well
I'm
I
saying?
want to specify
You ain't
melanated,
black.
melanated from the United States.
Okay.
Since we gotta be super specific and
I'm just saying,
wordy,
dog. Listen.
because black
Can you
is a
tolerate my offense to that word black? Like I don't like being called black.
okay,
It's stupid. I'm not black. Like my
okay.
hair is black. My shoes, I got some black shoes.
That's an offense to James Brown.
Huh?
That's an offense to James Brown.
What's an offense to James
James
Brown?
Brown said, "I'm black and I'm proud."
Well, he come from a time where we were trying to find our identity, and that was not something we clung to.
Well,
But
the generation came up with that,
eh,
so
and they was
that was
wrong.
the
I'm
best they
sorry.
could do,
Listen,
I guess.
and show me, was James Brown black?
According to
His last name was Brown. You know what color he was? Brown. I'm brown like the dirt from the ground, the same dirt Adam was made from. I'm not black.
Okay, well, I hope the rest of our people jump on this bandwagon and we can come up with something else
Whether they
to
do or they
identify
don't,
ourselves with.
they do or they don't. I'm not black. I'm brown.
Well, I think we done went from black to kings and queens.
Oh, well, that's another whole thing. 'Cause everybody ain't kings and queens. I'm sorry.
We're
And
kings and queens
you can't have a
now.
whole nation of kings. That don't make no sense. Everybody a king.
That's
No,
what we are.
no, no, no. King. No. Everybody can't be no king. Y'all can miss me with that too.
So, yeah. So anyway, their children were outside playing and they came across some other
Who?
melanated from the United
Okay.
States
Yeah.
children. And the children was playing, they was cool. But when the other children found out that our friends' children were not Muslim, then the other children was like, "Oh, we can't play with you no more." And that was it. Like it was all cool. It was
That's what
just,
they was taught though, right? That's what their parents taught them.
that's what their parents taught them.
So they
Yes.
did what they parents. What you mean? So
And I'm not saying parents should disobey their. I mean, children should disobey their parents and not do what their parents tell them to do. I'm saying I don't agree with that principle. I don't think that we should raise our children to live in a box and only operate within a certain box because that's not the real world.
I think you do agree with that. I think you disagree with the whole Muslim children can't play with Christian children thing, but I think you definitely want your children to be in a box because
I mean,
we go to the States this summer and we let our children go play and then they come back and say, yeah, this is my friend. He sell crack. This is Savannah come back. I met this girl. She want to be a stripper. Hey baby, I don't want you hanging out with them no more. Nah, son, you can't hang with drug dealers.
and I guess
100%. I
this
want,
is the
don't tolerate that. No, I want discrimination against certain things. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I guess certain
Can't have it
things.
both ways.
Yes.
You don't want your children playing my children because we believe in the Bible and y'all don't. Then that's fine. That's your pride. That's your prerogative. Your perspective. That's what you want. I don't see nothing wrong with it. It sucks for the children, but it is what it is. Can't have it both ways. You know what I'm saying? Can't have it both ways.
Well, I mean, and I think it's natural for parents to have. I mean, you think about it, in times past, people stay within their groups. People stay within their own social circles.
Yeah.
So I think it is natural for children's influence, of course, first and foremost, did it be the family, and then to be their same socioeconomic class, their same ethnic group, their same religious background. I think that's normal for that to be their primary sphere and influence. But I do think it's
Necessary.
beneficial for them to be exposed
Uh huh.
to people who are not like them.
I would agree with that. I can.
Especially in our day and time, and we live overseas, we operate with all kinds of different people. Like these are social skills that are
Yeah.
pertinent.
I mean, yeah. You got to be able to work. You got to be able to operate and deal with people despite differences. I would agree with that.
Yes.
But when you said tolerance, you got to
So
tolerate
yeah,
what. But
yeah.
I
So
see what you mean, though.
yes, and for our children being homeschooled, I felt like I kind of need to go out of my way to expose them to different kinds of people. Otherwise, we're just gonna be in our bubble, in our circle.
Well, my thing with that is that yes, they need to be exposed to certain things. The question is when.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
do you have to expose your children to all these variety of life at such a young age,
Mm.
or should you, make sure that you have them, of a certain level of understanding. And every child is different. Some develop faster than others, and then once they to a certain point that you feel comfortable, that they're not going to be influenced in a negative way, or at
Mm-hmm.
least you feel comfortable. Not saying it can't happen, but at least you feel like you've given them enough to not be influenced negatively, to at least minimize the impact of other people's influence on them. Then okay,
Mm-hmm.
but just to say, well, we need to expose them to different lifestyles. Nah.
Oh yeah, not to go
When
too
they old
crazy.
enough, yeah, but not
When
just.
they're old enough, but then also I think it's good to expose them to a certain extent when they're younger. When we have more insight and influence on them, because they may not respond how we think they're gonna respond. So, um, let me give you an example.
Huh?
Trying to think of an example.
It made me think about that show with the people was they trained the children about the stranger danger and how they was going.
Right. So they did an experiment. They
Right.
sent their children to the playground, and then they hired someone to come and say, "Hey, I got some puppies in my car. You want to come see them?" Or, "I live right around the corner. You want to come see my puppies?" And a lot of parents were shocked that their children were about to go with the stranger. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, kind of put them in situations where we can monitor them and see how they react
Yeah.
to certain things. But anyway,
Yeah.
and that's how you grow. I think that's part of growth,
What?
to face and overcome challenges.
Yeah.
And if our children are never in situations where they're challenged, then
Yeah. Adversity.
there's
Yeah.
certain aspects where they won't grow or their growth will be stunted.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I
So
agree with that. So we're in agreement. We're going to indoctrinate our children. We've done so far, I think, and we're going to continue to indoctrinate our children. Yes.
yes, but also so the tolerance issue, because I think that, and I've seen children, like when they meet other people, when they find out other people don't believe the way they believe, they
Uh huh.
like attack them, or they make a point to let them know you are wrong.
That's a childish, immature way of doing things. As they grow up, we teach them how to be more mature. And I mean, when it happens, you teach them, son, that's not the way you handle it. Because I think it's natural for children to do that. And so we have to groom them and teach them how to handle those situations and how not to handle them.
I've seen some families that don't groom and teach their children.
Well, I mean, that's what we
So
all we can
bad.
do is learn from that and make sure we do and groom and teach our children how to properly deal with a person that has a different path in life, a different perspective in life.
Yeah.
Because children are cruel. Children can be really mean, really mean. So,
Yes.
absolutely.
Like, sorry, I don't want to put you out there, but when Aiden asked you how old you are.
Oh, that was cold blooded. You know what I'm saying? He said, "How old are you?"
Kids say the dirtiest
I
thing.
said, I told him how old I was. I don't want to say here, you know. But my man looked at me. He's like, I thought you was about, what you say, 60 something or 70 something.
So,
I said,
uh,
man, what?
so yeah, the 7-year-old asked, "How old are you?" And then the other one said, "I already know how old that is." So he's like, "Tell me, tell me." So he said, "Let me take your age."
No, I don't want to tell my age.
Okay. So he told him how old he was, and then yeah, the 7-year-old was like, "Oh, that's how I thought that was like 70."
Yeah, I thought I was 70 years old. Man, you got to talk louder. It's like you getting lower and lower. Talk regular
Okay.
voice.
Okay, I did.
No, you're not talking regular. You can hear yourself, right?
Yes.
Talk louder.
Okay.
Okay. So, I want to get your thoughts on this. First Corinthians chapter 14, verse 35. And if they will learn anything, they being wives, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for a woman to speak in the church. So I want to focus on the let them ask their husbands at home. Do you feel like you do that? Do you feel like you learn from me when it comes to the Bible?
I'm about to say, Google must be my husband then. I learned everything from Google.
And don't get Google killed.
Google just turned 25, by the way.
I'm older than Google.
I'm just saying.
Generation X. But do you feel like you learn at home from your husband? Let them ask their husbands at home.
Not really. Not so much.
Not so
Sometimes.
much. We gotta talk about this. We're gonna explore it. We ain't gonna do it now because I know it's late. We've been on a couple hours, but I think we should definitely explore that because I think this is a problem. This causes a lot of problem in marriage as well. This causes a lot of problems in marriages when women don't ask their husbands at home. Uh, I heard this. I don't know how true this is, but I heard. I want to say T.D. Jakes told his congregation or told the women in his congregation that they better not ever quote him at home to their husband. Well, pastor said such and such.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big mistake that women make, wives make.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about what your husband say this, and you gonna come talk about what Pastor so and so said, Reverend so and so, Deacon so and so, whoever, Coach, my daddy. It don't matter. Like I think that's a problem if you're not learning from your husband.
That's a whole big topic, though,
Yeah, I said
to
we're
be
gonna get
honest.
into it next time. Well, I just right here, so it's a reminder, cause yeah. So yeah, if y'all want to hear us talk about that, or y'all got some thoughts that coming, leave that in the comment, cause we gonna probably be a week or so before we record the next one. So y'all leave us in the comment, we can see and kind of maybe add to that conversation. What's up?
Because really, it ties into indoctrination. Like, you're on your husband's team, so you have to be
Ooh,
indoctrinated into the
ooh.
belief system
Well, as an adult
of your
though,
husband.
you gotta be indoctrinated. So I don't think I want to indoctrinate you because I want you to be able to
I,
think critically and be able to give me feedback and maybe even offer correction if I'm tripping.
yeah, but okay, indoctrinate, teach someone the set of beliefs. I have to learn, you have to teach me, or I have to learn
Yeah,
your set of beliefs, your way of doing things, your viewpoint of the world. This is the system I'm operating in
yeah,
within our marriage versus the way the pastor runs his ship.
right,
Or you know what I'm saying?
right.
So in that aspect, everybody run their ship differently. How you run your ship? What's the dynamic here? I got to learn your dynamic so that I can operate within that dynamic, not within the dynamic of the pastor or whoever
Yeah,
or Google.
right. So yeah, I think it's gonna be
So it to me, in a sense, it is indoctrination.
I mean, if loosely,
Oh,
by a loose definition, but by definition, indoctrination means you learn without question. You learn, like you said, essentially brainwash. And I don't think I want to brainwash you, but I definitely want you to be on my page and understand what I believe and why I'm doing what I'm doing and where the direction I'm going in. And yeah, what you shaking your head no for?
your whole thing. Listen to your husband.
Yes,
So that's like
yes.
indoctrination. Do what I say.
But you ain't did it yet. I have failed. I have failed to brainwash you. I'm gonna have to.
Indoctrinate me.
I mean, at this point, I'm ready to open your head and then put soap on your brain. I don't know how else to do it. Literally
You
brainwash
make
you,
me sound like a very unruly wife.
huh?
Make me sound like an unruly
Okay,
wife.
you ain't got to tell us. They can't hear you. You gonna just tell. You make me sound like a very unruly one. You can talk how you want to talk. They done heard you on here. You done heard what some of the people said. I ain't never seen that side of Brittany. They see how I see you get in front of them and then you all meek and humble and virtuous and everything. Then when they leave, you get to slapping on me and beating on me and stuff and you know what I'm saying, hit me while I'm asleep. You know what I'm saying, like.
Whatever.
uh, but no, I'm not saying like you unruly, but you know, I'm just saying you like you clearly said you don't feel like you learn from me or you ask, you know what I'm saying, you come to me for understanding on biblical principles and all these different things. And even if you did, you might still have a different perspective. You might disagree. But I'm saying that's why I know what you thought about this because that's what it say, right? That's what it say. First Corinthians. I said it wrong on
Uh,
purpose. You know what I'm saying? Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. And people say, what it said in the law? That's another conversation, but it's in Genesis. Going back to a woman, her desire will be to her husband. That's what it's talking about. So then it says, because law meaning Torah, no, not law as in Ten Commandments, but Torah. Anyway, and then it says, verse 35, and if a woman learn anything, let them ask their husband at home.
mhm.
So, because I've seen this cause problems in marriages where
Mhm.
she's under the authority of another man and challenging her husband because he's saying something different than what the pastor's saying, or whoever the spiritual leader is, or whatever man she respects more than her husband, value his respect more than her husband's. You know, one of the most recent ones I can think of was when that whole flat Earth thing hit, and I listened to this elder say, well, I've seen marriages break up behind this flat Earth thing, and I said, nah, it didn't break up behind the flat Earth. What happened was y'all said one thing, her husband said something else, and she agreed with you all, and she started arguing with her husband about over what y'all was saying opposed to what he was saying. That's what broke up the marriage because she took what y'all perspective over her husband's,
Mm.
and she, you know what I'm saying. So he's saying this, and she's saying, well, now elder said this, elder said that, and so now we see. So now we ain't agree because you listen to this man over me. You don't be listening to no other man. Don't you know what I'm saying? No.
Goes back to indoctrination.
And what you mean indoctrination? How?
So she don't. She has to accept your beliefs, not his beliefs.
Not okay. What you don't do, I'm not saying you have to accept my beliefs, but you're not gonna. You can't serve two masters. If you're my wife, my helpmeet, you're on my team, helping me accomplish my goals, helping me get us to heaven. Then you can't be telling me about what no other man saying. Who you with, me or him? Who's your head? Who's your authority? Who are you under?
Okay.
So you see what I'm saying? You can't serve two masters.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Anyway, we get into it. We say we ain't gonna get into it. We're gonna call that's gonna be a preview right there. Can't serve two masters. Let them ask their husbands at home. How many of you wives are asking your husbands at home?
It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. Oh, cause I'm already thinking of the other side of it. You know, how many of these brothers ain't spiritual leaders and blah blah blah, which that's may be true, may not be true, but at the end of the day, it's your husband. He your head. You gotta obey your husband. You gotta follow your husband. Wives obey your husbands. Don't it say something like that in the Bible? You read it before.
Something like that.
Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you all for listening. We hope you learned something. We hope this was beneficial. This is the One Flesh podcast. Say something later.
Thank you for listening.
That's it.
Yes. Yes.
You gotta say something better than that. And be loud. Say it louder, please. It's not registered. I'm looking at the sound wave. Say it louder.
I'm not saying anything.
What you just said. Say it louder.
Thank you for listening.
You say it a little bit louder.
Thank you for listening.